with dance, it's what I love about it. It's just like it just doesn't stop. There's no angle that just goes and it plateaus. Like there's always a roof you can push through. There's always something you're not bound by anything, and that's what I was taught in Hammersmith College by my dance mentor. Like I proper used to think, oh, well, you know what? If you can't like if you can't do these techniques, you can't do that. That's it. You're limited. Do you know what I mean? You're only as good as what your technique is. Not at all. You're only as good as what is up here. So up here is more important than actually this body itself.
I'm Corrie David King, 22, first and second 93. 93 baby, 90 babies always the best babies, I think, personally.
So where are you from?
West London, Latimer Road to be precise, kind of Holland Park area, kind of regional, all round.
So how did you start into dance? How did you get into dance?
My grandmother, actually, funny story, I was 4 years old. She was making some dumplings and stuff. She was listening to Motown, you know, soul funk, and she said, "Do you know about the Soul Train?" And I was like 4 or 5. I said, "No, I could barely speak." I always remember this clear as day. She was like, "I'm going to show you." So she showed me my first like wrist roll, and I was like trying to do that, and I probably was like all over. I was only 4, like must be 4 or 5. Like I couldn't do it really, but for me it felt like meeting meeting someone for the first time that's important to your life, and so that's when I was introduced to dance.
So how was like school for you, like primary, secondary, college?
Primary was amazing, but I had a lot of family issues going on, so I kind of got separated from dance. And then in high school, I started dance again, always loved it. And what happened in high school was, I did this thing with my grandmother dancing all the time, and then I had a long period of not dancing. So then when I started dancing again, it was like re-meeting my grandmother, and by that time she had passed away. So for me, it was like the only way I could really feel connected with her. Do you know what I mean? So it started from such a personal thing into then becoming a profession.
What were like your big influences growing up in terms of dance, or even just like
big influences? I'd actually go as far as to say like MC Hammer, Michael Jackson, Prince, Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan, like even artists like Salvador Dali, like any artist, just anyone that broke the mold, anyone that wanted to really like stand out from the crowd, not for attention and fame, but more for, I would say, just for their own personal goals, because they wanted to be different, they were different.
What styles do you like perform, or what was like your more predominant style, I guess?
Hip hop. I'd say hip hop's in my blood. Like it was a groove, an actual thing that came natural to me. But because I'm such a passionate person, I realized I could put my passion into anything I did. So like when I discovered like lyrical dance, about I'd say 4 years ago now, like I realized I could put my passion into hip hop, because I'm such a passionate person, and I just kind of put it on everything I did. So like, you know, like contemporary, I'm really passionate when I do contemporary. I've been told by others that like, wow, like what story are you telling me? What emotion are you going through? You know, like what actors do. So yeah, same thing.
How many dance groups are you a part of and against?
I'm part of. So I'm a part of Society Dance, another group called GMTA, which is Great Minds Think Alike, and I'm also a part of another group that's I started earlier this year, a company called Fundamental. Like I've been a part of Society Dance for 1.5 years now, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, like in our first year, we performed in the O2 in a year like 6 times, and that's amazing to be able to do that. Like we were doing what the big crews were doing, diversity, and at the same time we were sitting around a table like a family.
Dance isn't just more of a hobby, it's a passion.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's definitely a lifestyle. Like anything, like skateboarding, like art, like anything in life. If you've got a passion for it, it becomes a lifestyle. It becomes who you are as a person. So.
My name's Joshua Ginsberg. I'm 22 years old.
So how do you know Corrie King?
I've known Corrie for a few good years, nearly a decade, over a decade, probably over a decade. I've known him since year 7 in Holland Park, so I've known him for a long time now.
JJ, alright, so the funny story, the first one, he probably killed me for saying this, was our first lesson at PE. Some boys were taking the mick out of him. It was just before we went in to like get changed and stuff. You got ankle swingers on. JJ wasn't very socially adapted. Neither was I. I mean, I was kind of I was an oddball. I didn't realise it, but I am an oddball. And so was he. And I guess that's what drew us together. From there, we just kept friends, and it was kind of like a unit. Like if anyone's talked dirt to JJ, they were speaking dirt to me, and vice versa. So, and then we just drew on, and we got common friends, and more friends, and we just grew up together, basically.
What I strive for in anything, in any project, is just to make like really nice and engaging things that, you know, someone can look at and go, you know what? That was really nice. That I really liked this part. That was really beautifully coloured, or the sound was fantastic. And you know, collaboration with new artists as a whole. That's what I define myself as an artist. And collaboration with new artists is just, it's a wonderful thing, and it's always a nice and warm and friendly thing when you get another or contact another artist and they're like, you know what? Just go ahead, do it. Do whatever you want, do it. It's always a nice thing. So yeah. Yeah, a message to like people aspiring to do like what we do or what I do, or you know, artists in general, whether they be based in film, writing, dance, whatever medium they have, is to just, no matter what, keep going, keep pushing. Even if you think that your work isn't great or you don't have pride in your work, there will be one point in time. It may not be now and it may not be for a while, but there'll be a point in time where you look back and you'll realise that you have come a long, long way, and you've evolved as an artist in a long, long way. And especially from an editing standpoint, you know, you are only really as good as the last job that you did. That being said, that's both a curse and a gift. I mean, if it turns out bad, obviously you're not going to be happy with it, but you never know, someone might look at it and go, yeah, I know why that went wrong, and I know how that went wrong, but you know what? I know what you went for, and I know you can achieve what you went for, so you always have potential. I mean, from an editing standpoint as well, I think it's important that you just come to terms with that, the fact that you're a storyteller. You are a storyteller, you control the narrative, so you should, I guess, look at and just come to terms with the fact that you're a storyteller and look into it, and it will help your career as a whole.
Be the person you want to be the person you have to be, and that comes very selfish, but it's the only way. It's the kind of the inward spiral that then becomes the outward spiral. You have to seek happiness within yourself to then push out happiness, because if not, then you're just being fake. Just remember the good times, like remember all of the good times, and remember all the bad times, because like no matter how good you get and how technical, just practice, because as much as you practice, you're going to be crap. Every style you do at first, you hate it with a passion. You're going to hate it with the same passion that you love dance with. And it's very confusing, because that same passion can turn around and bite you, and you're like, I don't get it, why am I not good at this? I need to get this. But Rome wasn't built in a day, do you know what I mean? Like, so just remember that, and just remember to stay positive, and remember it's your responsibility to pass this art form on.